If you always sacrifice your time, energy, and peace for people who never return the favor, you are not being kind. You are being submissive. Elite manipulators do not value your presence because it costs them nothing to get it. Listen carefully, because the unspoken rules of power are shifting rapidly. The window to build an impenetrable psychological armor against emotional parasites is closing fast. What I am about to reveal is not public knowledge. It is an exclusive breakdown of how covert predators use your desperate need to be a good person to map out your insecurities and keep you trapped at the bottom of the hierarchy. If you click away right now, you guarantee that your power and status will remain drained by toxic people who view your loyalty as free labor. Every day you operate with this blind spot, you bleed leverage. But if you stay until the end, I will hand you the exact blueprint to destroy your people-pleasing habits and command instant respect through the asymmetry of silence. Let's get one thing straight. Nobody respects a willing victim. You were programmed to believe that accommodating everyone will reward you with unbreakable friendships. That is the most destructive lie of human behavior. The brutal reality of social hierarchies is that people do not value what they can manipulate effortlessly. Every time you shrink your boundaries to comfort someone who just disrespected you, you negotiate away your power. You broadcast that your temporary discomfort is more important than permanent respect. In dark psychology, that is an open invitation for relentless exploitation. Your constant availability is your fatal flaw because it makes your reactions predictable. You become the unpaid therapist, the emergency contact, the safety net remembered only when everything else falls apart. Predictability is social death. You are not their priority. You are their backup plan. Predators' calculus. Let's look at how elite predators operate in the shadows. Covert manipulators do not come at you with a weapon drawn. They come with a smoke screen of fake vulnerability. They operate like highly evolved hunters who have cracked your psychological code. Human manipulators reflect your deepest desires to be a savior. They identify your pathetic need to fix broken people, and they feed it just enough to get you addicted to their cyclical drama. They simulate remorse when caught, and fake helplessness when they need a favor, simply to draw your energy in. Once they know you are terrified of being perceived as cruel, they own your reality. Ignorance of this tactic ensures your permanent status as an obedient pawn. The darkest trick is the illusion of the one-sided friendship. When a toxic person realizes they are losing control over you, when they see the cold logic in your eyes and know you are about to walk away, they bypass your logic entirely. They deploy a fake crisis calibrated to disarm your rationality. They cry. They talk about their traumatic past, how much pressure they face, and how nobody understands them except you. Suddenly, the focus is no longer on the horrible thing they did to you. It is entirely on their pain. Because your ego is wired to feel valuable when helping someone, your mind registers this theatrical performance as a genuine plea for connection. You drop your guard. You start comforting them. You start saying yes to their unreasonable requests. You are trapped in a cage of your own making, built by your fear of looking like the bad guy. The darkest secret of toxic relationships is that the predator doesn't ever need to chain you to the wall. They offer a fake illusion of emotional collapse, and your own desperation builds the iron bars of your mental cage. Your pity is not a virtue. It is a pathetic coping mechanism designed to hide your paralyzing fear of setting a real boundary. They know you will never leave, which is exactly why they never try to impress you. The contrast of devalued time. A ruthless strategy these operators use against agreeable people is the contrast principle of devalued time. Human beings judge the worth of something based on how difficult it is to obtain. Manipulators understand this flawlessly. If a rare, exclusive person gives them 5 minutes of attention, they treat it like gold. But if you are always waiting, always replying to messages within seconds, your time becomes psychologically worthless. The contrast is jarring. You walk into the interaction ready to give your absolute best, but you are met with casual indifference. They cancel plans at the last minute. They leave you waiting. They only reach out when they need a favor, money, or a temporary ego boost because their primary options fell through. This is the dark architecture of the backup plan. It is designed specifically to keep you on a psychological leash. You start softening your tone. You tell them it isn't a big deal when they flake on you. You forgive their disrespect without them taking real accountability, simply because the sight of their tiny, breadcrumbed attention looks overwhelming in comparison to the loneliness you fear. You need to see this tactic for exactly what it is: pure, calculated exploitation. When you recognize that their sudden warmth is a setup designed to manipulate your loyalty, you owe them absolutely nothing. A trick does not deserve your compassion. They also use the illusion of uninvited debts. It is a primitive rule of human interaction. If someone gives you something, you must give something back. Covert manipulators exploit this by giving you a fake vulnerability. They confess a fake secret, offering it to you as a gift of trust. Your ego is starved for deep connection, so your mind registers this as a massive debt of intimacy. Suddenly, you feel a deep obligation to repay them with endless patience. When they treat you like garbage weeks later, you excuse it. You are paying back a debt that was completely fabricated to keep you submissive. The illusion of mutual respect. Your constant need to be the hero is turning you into a disposable asset. Society teaches us that the strong must protect the weak. But when applied indiscriminately, this instinct becomes a deadly virus. You start believing that if you do not sacrifice your peace to save a toxic person, you are fundamentally worthless. By shutting down your cold rationality just to please the herd's definition of kindness, you hand total control of your life to covert manipulators who play the victim. To hold true power, you must completely detach your self-worth from your ability to fix other people. Every time you back down because someone manipulates your empathy, you are writing the instruction manual on how to destroy you. Covert manipulators use your endless patience as a dark radar to test your emotional armor. In the wild, predators test the perimeter of the herd by making small movements to see which animal flinches. Toxic people do the exact same thing. They create a minor crisis out of thin air just to see how much energy you are willing to drop to come to their rescue. If you rush in, completely abandoning your schedule to comfort them, you fail the test. You have signaled to their radar that your boundaries are made of paper. If you forgive them the moment they show a single tear, you mathematically guarantee your permanent status as their obedient secondary option. Many are trapped in relationships or jobs where promised respect was stripped away the moment you committed. You were lowballed. They gave you a false sense of potential to secure loyalty, and now you stay because your mind built a fake support system. You tell yourself they are having a hard time, or if you are more patient, they will finally see your true value. This is a pathetic lack of a spine disguised as noble empathy. You are lying to yourself. The moment you realize your desire to be the savior forces you to stay in an exploitative environment, you must cut the cord. The art of strategic withdrawal. So, how do the top 1% of operators detach from this trap? How do they stop being the backup plan, stay cold, and command respect without seeking validation? They kill the savior complex. In the marketplace of human interaction, your attention and empathy are your most valuable assets. If you give them away to anyone who manufactures a crisis, your value plummets. People only respect what is difficult to obtain. When you make your emotional support, your time, and your forgiveness incredibly scarce, their perceived value skyrockets instantly. The individuals who command the highest status do not give their empathy freely. They guard their focus as if their life depends on it, because socially it does. If you want people to value you, you must become intimately comfortable with the art of strategic withdrawal. This is not about hiding in your room or becoming a heartless monster. It is about removing your emotional availability from anyone who has not earned the right to have it. Right now, your empathy is dangerously cheap. You give it to anyone who cries, anyone who claims they are a victim. To break the curse of people-pleasing, you have to treat your empathy like high-grade currency. People are motivated more by the thought of losing something than by gaining something of equal value. When a toxic friend tries to rope you into their endless drama by turning on the waterworks, you withdraw. You don't argue, you don't debate, you don't write a long paragraph explaining why you can't help. You simply become unavailable. Weak people are terrified of social friction. They tolerate disrespect to avoid silence. Elite operators embrace friction to test the hierarchy and see who holds the power. When you stop being the savior, you introduce heavy friction into your relationships. People who used your pity to walk all over you will be outraged. They will call you selfish, cold, and toxic. Good. That is the sound of the emotional parasite starving. Let friction burn away every one-sided connection. The people who belong in your reality will respect the new boundary, reclaiming absolute control. When someone flakes on you and uses a fake crisis as a shield, your reflex is to soften your stance. You bleed massive amounts of energy trying to control their emotional state. The truly powerful do the opposite. When tested with fake vulnerability, they deploy the asymmetry of silence. They speak less than necessary to maintain superiority. Silence is the most terrifying weapon in dark psychology because it provides zero information. It creates an uncomfortable void, and human beings are psychologically terrified of voids. When you don't react to their excuses, you force the manipulator to sit in their own awkward performance. You deny them the emotional supply they hunt for. Think about it. When someone ignores you for a week, then texts a dramatic excuse, and you offer comfort, you have entered their game. You are playing by their rules. You have given them proof they control your emotions. But when you respond with cold, unbroken eye contact and absolute silence, or simply do not reply, the game stops. The power shifts entirely to you. They throw a theatrical performance, and you don't even blink. By not caring enough to validate their fake sadness, you instantly project the aura of someone fundamentally above the manipulation. You communicate, without uttering a syllable, that their display is so transparent it doesn't warrant the energy of your vocal cords. This destroys a covert manipulator instantly. This is the ultimate psychological transformation. Stop being the designated healer in everyone else's movie. Start acting as the ruthless director of your own reality. If someone creates a mess and cries about consequences, that is their psychological burden, not yours. Build an impenetrable armor of self-reliance. Respect your boundaries before their fake tears. The greatest operators do not waste a single heartbeat comforting a manipulator. Being called cold by a parasite is a massive badge of honor. It proves your armor is working perfectly. You have a critical choice to make. You can close this video and continue to be the exhausted backup plan, or you can decide today to kill the savior inside you. If this painful truth hit you where it needed to, drop the words "easily replaced" in the comments right now. Draw a permanent line in the sand today. Take back your power. Hit the subscribe button to master the dark psychology tactics the elite use to dominate. Stay cold, stay silent, and never apologize for your power.